Now, the fire over the Gyanvapi Masjid dispute had reached Deoband. The issue was raised at the two-day gathering of Jama Ulama-e-Hind, where the chief of the group, Maulana Mahmood Madani, has claimed that it was getting difficult for Muslims to walk on the streets. The Muslim cleric and former MP has claimed that Muslims were being provoked and their patience now being tested. The comment comes amid the issue of Gyanvapi Mosque, where an alleged shivling was found during the court-ordered survey. BJP has slammed Madani's comments, calling it an attempt to disrupt communal harmony.
अगर जमीयत उलमा का ये फैसला है कि हम जुल्म को बर्दाश्त कर लेंगे, अगर जमीयत उलमा का ये फैसला है कि हम दुखों को सह लेंगे लेकिन अपने मुल्क पर आंच नहीं आने देंगे, तो ये फैसला कमजोरी की वजह से नहीं है बल्कि जमीयत उलमा की ताकत की वजह से है।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी शुचिता के साथ पूरे देश के सभी नागरिकों को साथ लेकर के चलती है। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो नारा दिया, सबका साथ सबका विकास सबका विश्वास, उसी के तहत हम सब काम करते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत सभी गरीबों को मकान मिले हैं, उसमें हमारे मुस्लिम समाज के भी भाई हैं और सब लोग हैं। इस प्रकार की बातें भारत के संदर्भ में कहना बिल्कुल उचित नहीं है।
All right, let me cut across to Shreya Chatterjee joining us for more on that. Shreya, a quick word on this Muslim leader who says that it's increasingly becoming difficult for Muslims to walk on the streets and their patients are being tested. They feel harassed and marginalized at this point. Take us through exactly what was his sentiments while he spoke.
Well, Nabila, this meeting was actually held by the Jamiat Ulema-Hind, and this was a national governing body meeting where the President, Mahmood Asad Madani, he broke down also while addressing the gathering, saying that there is an atmosphere of negativity towards the minority community, and he also said that it's a time when their patience is being tested. However, he said that they will not respond in the line that the minority community is right now being expected to respond to. The other rhetoric that we saw across all speakers in that gathering was they wanted the 14th of March to be observed as the International Islamophobia Day. So that's something that was also, given a call in that very meeting. There are resolutions that the governing body is looking forward to pass. They say this is a roadmap to come forward with a constructive policy so that there could be a positive approach towards the minority community. So they are right now, this is a two-day meeting that will go on till tomorrow. But if you talk about the president of Jamaat Ulema-Hind, he was very categorically saying that there is an atmosphere of divisive politics where the minority community is facing harassment.
All right. You know, at this point, the leader says that people are finding it hard to walk on the streets. When he said that, it seems like there was high sentiments running at this point while he was on that stage. And also further goes on to say that this is increasingly becoming difficult for them to bear.
Well, yes, Nabila. You know, if I exactly say what he mentioned on the stage, he said that we see leaders speak about Akhand Bharat. However, when we see the current scenario, then the Muslims feel increasingly threatened to walk on the streets. What is the mention of Akhand Bharat if we don't feel safe? So that was the line that on which he spoke. We also saw that the crowd erupted in cheers when that statement was made. So there was a reception of the sentiment that Madani was also speaking and evoking amongst the crowd, but largely there was this unanimous call that was being given from across the speakers that the Muslim community is facing harassment and they wanted to come forward with some resolutions and roadmap on what could be done. Now, one more thing, Nabila, that I would want to say, you know, they acknowledge the fact that issues like Gyanvapi and Qutub Minar and in past the issue of Ayodhya is something that has not been historically dealt correctly. So probably there should be a better dialogue and to ensure that these issues are dealt correctly. That was also an acknowledgement that they mentioned from that very state. So tomorrow's day become extremely crucial as they hope to pass on a few more resolutions. But one thing that they ask for is a national day to mark Islamophobia, and also they want a separate law for punishing people who incite violence. Those are a few of the resolutions that were passed today. Some more will be coming in tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much, Shreya, for joining us with those details. But here we're looking at a Muslim cleric who says that it's increasingly becoming difficult for Muslims to walk on the streets as they're being targeted. In fact, this comes in the wake of the Gyanvapi controversy. The fire over this Gyanvapi Masjid dispute has really reached Deoband now. The issue is also raised, it was raised at that two-day gathering of the Jamaat-ul-Hind, where chief of the group, Maulana Madani, has claimed that it is now becoming increasingly difficult for Muslims to walk on the streets. In fact, this Muslim cleric and former MP has also claimed that Muslims are being provoked and their patience increasingly being tested. The comment comes amid the issue of Gyanvapi Mosque, where an alleged shivling was found during the court-ordered survey. BJP has slammed Madani's comments, calling it an attempt to disturb communal harmony. Let's have a listen to his reaction on that once again.
जमीयत उलमा का ये फैसला है कि हम जुल्म को बर्दाश्त कर लेंगे, अगर जमीयत उलमा का ये फैसला है कि हम दुखों को सह लेंगे लेकिन अपने मुल्क पर आंच नहीं आने देंगे, तो ये फैसला कमजोरी की वजह से नहीं है बल्कि जमीयत उलमा की ताकत की वजह से है।
All right, now the Jamaat-ul-Ulama-e-Hind held a huge gathering of Muslim bodies in Uttar Pradesh's Deoband amid this row involving Gyanvapi Mosque and Qutub Minar. The meeting was organized to discuss issues surrounding mosques in Gyanvapi, Mathura, as well as monuments such as Qutub Minar. In fact, the Jamaat-ul-Hind passed a memorandum against alleged Islamophobia amid ongoing Mandir Masjid row. 3 proposals were also passed at that meet. The Muslim outfit claims that Muslims are being maligned across India. The outfit is set to hold another massive gathering in UP's Deoband tomorrow, where at least 5,000 Muslim organizations are all set to participate. Meanwhile, the BJP has slammed the Muslim outfit's gathering, claiming that it's spreading hate and promoting fear-mongering.
Ever since the Gyanvapi matter has come to court, there are certain gangs of Papi in the name of Gyanvapi and Samvidhan Papi who are trying to constantly incite, fearmonger, provoke for the sake of vote bank politics. Today a huge gathering has been called in Deoband. One hopes that there is no fearmongering and incitement done in the name of vote bank politics, like we have seen from the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi and Akbaruddin Owaisi, who have been constantly trying to provoke. They went on the mazar of Aurangzeb.
न किसी को डरने की जरूरत है, न किसी को डराने की जरूरत है, न किसी को भय का भौकाल खड़ा करने की जरूरत है और न भ्रम का भूत खड़ा करने की जरूरत है। जहां तक सवाल है कानून अपना काम कर रहा है। कोर्ट में कोई मैटर है तो कोर्ट के फैसले का इंतजार करना चाहिए और देश के सौहार्द को बिगाड़ने की किसी को भी इजाजत नहीं दी जा सकती। सभी लोगों की ये सामूहिक जिम्मेदारी है कि देश के भाईचारा, देश की एकजहती, देश का सौहार्द किसी भी तरह से बिगड़ने ना पाए, किसी तरह से भी बिगाड़ने की कोशिश न होने पाए।
जो है आपका ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद का मुद्दा है, ये कोई आज के पैदा थोड़ी हुए है, इतने अरसे से चल रहा है, हर जमाने में रहा है। तो क्या इसके देश हमारा रुक गया? ये ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद और ये मंदिर वहाँ पहले से है, सब लोग इबादत करते रहे, हिंदू अपने हिसाब से कर रहे हैं, मुसलमान अपने हिसाब से कर रहे हैं, लेकिन क्या हमारा देश रुक गया? नहीं, हमारा देश चलता रहा और हम उसको इस मुद्दे के साथ साथ भी हम साथ में काम करते रहे। तो अब ऐसा क्यों, अचानक ऐसा क्यों कि बिल्कुल सड़क के ऊपर जंग छिड़ जाए? तो हमारा यही कहना है कि ये मुद्दे हैं।
Now, advocate for the Hindu petitioner in the Gyanvapi-Shringar Gauri case has claimed that attempts were made to remove evidence from the Gyanvapi premises and that alertness of the security personnel prevented removal and destruction of the evidence. The Masjid Intizamiya Committee has claimed there are diversionary tactics as there is evidence of a fountain which the Hindu side claimed was a shivling. Here's a report on that.
Sensational claim made by the lawyer for the Hindu petitioner in the Gyanvapi case in Varanasi. Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain claimed that an attempt was made to tamper with the evidence in the Gyanvapi case at the mosque premises.
मेरा क्लेम ये है कि जब ये उनके पोजीशन में था, इसको एक फव्वारा बनाने की कोशिश की गई है और इसमें छेद किया गया है और वो चक्री जो इनकी पूरी थ्योरी है फाउंटेन की, वो वहां से उत्पन्न हो रही है। इसलिए मेरा ये कहना है कि ये जो इन्होंने छेद किया है इसमें, ये इंटेंशनली किया है और इसको फव्वारा बताने की कोशिश की है, जो कि एकदम गलत है।
The Hindu side has made a huge claim that an half-inch thick and 63 centimeters deep hole was made into the oval-shaped structure they describe as the shivling.
एडवोकेट कमीशन की जो रिपोर्ट है उसमें स्पष्ट रूप से लिखा हुआ है कि उसमें 63 सेंटीमीटर का छेद है और वो छेद जाहिर सी बात है हम लोगों ने नहीं किया, क्योंकि वो हमारे पोजीशन में नहीं था। पिछले 40-50 सालों से वो एरिया, अपर एरिया जो मस्जिद का है जहाँ पे शिवलिंग मिला है, वो मुस्लिम पक्ष के कब्जे में था और जिसको वजू खाना बनाने की कोशिश की गई।
The Hindu side also claims that an attempt was made to remove a disc-like object from the basement of the Gyanvapi premises after the place was sealed on orders of the court, and that alert security personnel prevented the removal of the evidence in the form of a disc-shaped object similar to the shape that was found on top of the structure, being described as the holy shivling.
कोरोबोरेटेड बाय गवाही जो वहां के केयर टेकर है, उनसे पूछा गया कि इसके ऊपर क्या रखा है आपने, तो उन्होंने कहा कि इसके ऊपर फव्वारा चलता था जो 12 साल पहले चलता था, फिर बोला 20 साल पहले चलता था। और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट कोरोबोरेशन ये है कि अभी रिसेंटली वहां से कुछ लोग, एक चक्री थी जो स्टोर रूम में रखी हुई थी मस्जिद के, वहां से उसको ले जा रहे थे। जब सीआरपीएफ ने मना कर दिया तो उसको वापस अंदर रख दिया गया, क्योंकि वो रेड जोन है, ना उसमें कोई सामान ले जा सकता है ना ला सकता है।
The Gyanvapi Masjid Intizamiya Committee, on the other hand, has disputed the claims of the structure being a shivling or an attempt being made to drill a hole in the structure. They insist there was no tampering with evidence either with the structure or at the premises, especially with the entire sealed off area now being in control of the Central Reserve Police Force.
झूठ की भी कोई सीमा होती है। ऐसा झूठ बोलने और झूठ को बढ़ावा देने वालों के लिए हमारी गुजारिश है कि कम से कम सीमा के अंदर झूठ ही अगर बोलना है तो कम से कम सीमा के अंदर तो रहकर झूठ बोले। आप खुद अंदाजा लगाइए कि जिस दिन ये सब मामला सामने आया है उसी दिन से वो वजू खाना सील कर दिया गया, तो कौन जाकर छेड़छाड़ कर रहा है उससे?
There are no details yet in public domain when the attempt was allegedly made to remove the evidence from the premises or to drill a hole in the structure being described as the shivling by the Hindu side. Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain claims they will bring up the matter in court. With Samarth Srivastav and Kumar Abhishek in Varanasi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, the Kerala police is cracking down on those in connection with the PFI sloganeering case after a viral video emerged of a young boy at a PFI rally chanting hate slogans. 18 more people have been arrested this Saturday in connection with the sloganeering case, while the father of a 10-year-old boy who has been taken into custody. In fact, the Kerala court has now come down heavy over this provocative slogans raised during the PFI rally. Kerala High Court even directed police officials to take strict action against those responsible. The young boy in this video could be seen chanting hate slogans against other communities during the PFI rally, thus sparking wide condemnation.
പോലീസ് ഭാഗത്തു നിന്നൊക്കെ ശക്തമായ നടപടി വേണമെന്നുള്ള ആവശ്യം വരുന്നു. അത് എന്തെങ്കിലും കരുതിക്കൂട്ട് പിടിച്ചിരുന്നാണോ അതോ? ഒരിക്കലും അങ്ങനെ അത് നേരത്തെ ഉള്ളതൊന്നും അതിൽ കൂട്ടിച്ചേർത്തിട്ടൊന്നുമില്ല. ഇത് ഈ ആലപ്പുഴ പോലീസ് വന്ന് ആലപ്പുഴ പോലീസിന് കൈമാറി ആലപ്പുഴ പോലീസ് വീണ്ടും ചോദ്യം ചെയ്തതിനു ശേഷം അറസ്റ്റ് രേഖപ്പെടുത്തി ബാക്കി നിയമ നടപടികൾ ചെയ്തിരിക്കും. കുട്ടിയുടെ വീട്ടിൽ തന്നെയാണ്. ചൈൽഡ് ലൈനുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് നമ്മൾ അതിനുള്ള കൗൺസിലിംഗ് കൊടുക്കാനുള്ള ഇടപാടുകൾ ചെയ്യുന്നു.
നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് ജീവിക്കാം നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ ജീവിക്കാം മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് ജീവിച്ചോ മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് ജീവിച്ചോ മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് ജീവിച്ചോ
Now, the PFI hate sloganeering case has led the LDF government's opposition now to question how permission for this rally was attained by the PFI. Let's have a listen to some of those political reactions.
I think there has to be accountability in this country. I think all these people who are involved in this kind of things must be in jail. They should not be allowed even bail because they are a threat to the nation. And the earliest the Chief Minister take action, he has the courage to take action, I think will be the better. And I think Congress also, I think they must also change their attitudes. We can't allow this kind of people to be running things in this country.
ഗുരുതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഇന്റലിജൻസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെന്റ് ആ റിപ്പോർട്ട് അവഗണിച്ചതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇത്രയും ദുരന്തം ഉണ്ടായത്. ആലപ്പുഴയിലെ PFI റാലിയെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് അത് നിരോധിക്കണമെന്നുള്ള ഇന്റലിജൻസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് അവഗണിച്ചതെന്ന് മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി വ്യക്തമാക്കണം. കലാപമുണ്ടാക്കാൻ ആസൂത്രിതമായിട്ടുള്ള നീക്കം നടക്കുന്നുവെന്നുള്ള പോലീസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് അവഗണിക്കാൻ ആരാണ് നിർദ്ദേശം കൊടുത്തത്? ആരാണ് ആലപ്പുഴയിലെ PFI റാലിക്ക് അനുമതി കൊടുത്തത്? കാതലായ ആലപ്പുഴയിൽ കലാപമുണ്ടാക്കാൻ ആഹ്വാനം നടത്തുന്ന പ്രകോപനപരമായ പരിപാടി നടത്താൻ എന്തിന് സർക്കാർ അനുമതി കൊടുത്തു എന്നുള്ളതാണ്.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Akshaya joining us more on that. Akshaya, we know that this rally that was conducted by the PFI, all eyes and focus on how they got permission, what kind of hate mongering that was carried out in that rally, and more importantly, that small young boy who is chanting hate slogans being carried on a shoulder of a PFI member. His father has now been detained and booked. Take us through exactly what the police is now investigating into as they crack down on this massive rally by the PFI.
Nabila, it's a very shocking incident that had come to light from Kerala, where a child was, making slogans, hate slogans against Hindus and Christians. And it was seen that it was a PFI rally, and immediately it was flagged up, and it did send out shockwaves across the state. And immediately we've seen how the police officials start working on trying to nab the people behind it. We had also seen how the PFI officials had also stated that they did not have anything to do with it. It was a long rally, and people in different sections were having different slogans raised. Meanwhile, today we're hearing the father of the child speaking out, and he said that the child had picked up the slogan from the CAA protest and the NRC protest that had taken place in the state earlier, and during multiple protests these slogans were raised, and that's how the child had learned about this entire slogan. And we'd also heard not just the child but others also repeating that slogan, not correcting the child at that moment of time as well. And meanwhile, the father has also gone on to say that this was a slogan that was raised against the Sangh Parivar and not against the Hindus or the Christians in the state. And he also goes on to say that when no issue was created during the CAA NRC protest, why now? Why harass my child? And meanwhile, the police officials have taken into custody 18 people, including the father of the child. And he has gone on to say that, the father is being questioned by the Alleppuzha police. And the Alleppuzha police, after investigation, will be booking charges against him and recording his arrest as well. And meanwhile, the child is being given counseling by the Childline from Kerala as well. So that way help is being provided to the child. But Nabila, we need to dig deeper into this issue, because the kind of slogans that was raised, if it was raised earlier as well, then why were no actions taken then? And how did the LDF give permission for such a rally? These are very pertinent questions that have been raised, and the Chief Minister as well as the other dignitaries and other officials of the state will be responsible to answer how there was a lapse in, properly channelizing such a massive protest that had been conducted in Kerala.
Thank you very much, Akshay, for joining us with those details. All right, shifting focus here, Indigo airline is now staring at a 5 lakh rupee penalty for refusing boarding to a specially abled child in Ranchi. The Director General of Civil Aviation imposed this fine on Indigo. The special needs child was refused boarding at the Ranchi airport, sparking wide condemnation from citizens. Indigo has claimed that they refused boarding as the child was in a state of panic. The DGCA in its probe there has stated that Had Indigo's ground staff behaved in a more compassionate manner, then there wouldn't have been the need for this child to be deboarded. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami led government on Friday has announced a drafting committee to implement the Uniform Civil Code in the state. In this notification, Dhami led government has stated that the panel will examine the report on all relevant laws governing the individual civil affairs of all citizens residing in Uttarakhand. The committee will be chaired by Supreme Court Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, retired. Other members of the committee are also former Sikkim High Court Chief Justice Pramod Kohli, former Uttarakhand Chief Secretary Shatrugna Singh, Doon University Vice-Chancellor Surekha Dangwal and social activist Manu Gaur. Opposition has now slammed the UCC implementation panel, calling it unconstitutional and anti-minorities.
जस्टिस रंजना देसाई के अध्यक्षता में एक 5 सदस्यीय कमेटी हमने गठित कर दी है। हम जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं और हमने पहले ही कहा था कि हम इस पर हमारी सरकार ने निर्णय ले लिया है। चुनाव से पहले हमने संकल्प लिया था। चुनाव के बाद पहली जो हमारी मंत्रिमंडल की बैठक हुई थी, पहली शपथ ग्रहण के बाद हमने उसमें ये सर्वसम्मति से फैसला ले लिया था कि हम उत्तराखंड के अंदर सभी के लिए समान नागरिक संहिता लाएंगे और उसके लिए कमेटी बनाएंगे। आज हमने वो कमेटी बना दी है और कमेटी जल्दी ही ड्राफ्ट तैयार करेगी और ड्राफ्ट तैयार होने के बाद हम उसको लागू करेंगे।
सरकार की नीयत बहुत साफ है, किसी को तंग और परेशान करने की नीयत नहीं है। जो ऐसी चीजें हैं जो देश के लिए खतरा है, प्रदेश के लिए तो है ही है, साथ में देश के लिए भी खतरा है, तो वो कैसे यहाँ पर बिना परमिशन के यहाँ आ रहे हैं, कैसे रह रहे हैं, उनकी एक्टिविटीज क्या है, वो क्या कर रहे हैं, इन सारी चीजों को देखते हुए कॉमन सिविल कोड की बात मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कही है, जिसका सभी ने समर्थन किया है, पूरा प्रदेश साथ में है।
देखिए, जो वादा उत्तराखंड के यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री जी पुष्कर सिंह धामी जी ने चुनावों से पहले किया था कि लिंग न्याय, महिला सशक्तिकरण के लिए वो प्रदेश में यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड को लागू करने की प्रक्रिया शुरू करेंगे, आज उस वादे को वो पूर्ण तरीके से निभाने का काम कर रहे हैं और इसीलिए आज एक कमेटी भी गठित की गई है। परंतु यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड के नाम पर मिस इन्फॉर्म करने वाली जो अनसिविल कमेटी है, वो बार बार इस मामले पर भी अब राजनीति पर उतर आई है।
यूनिफॉर्म में करना मैं समझता हूं कि मुश्किल जरूर है, लेकिन अगर राज्य सरकार की ये का प्रयास है तो ठीक है, वो उसका मसवदा तैयार करे और मसवदा को पेश करे और उस पर बहस होनी चाहिए, उस पर चिंतन होना चाहिए। अगर ये इतना आसान होता यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड, तो ये कब का बन गया होता।